In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we visit the Barnstable County Fair, talk to the College Light Opera about their 50th season, and look back at the Cape Cod Hydrangea Fest. All this and much more on this episode of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. We start off this episode at one of the Cape's most time-honored traditions, the 174th edition of the Barnstable County Fair. The fair offers music, rides, attractions, midway amusements and food, along with its traditional juried agriculture and livestock exhibits, 4-H programs and petting zoo, and FCTV was there.
I'd like to welcome you to the Barnstable County Fair Rabbit Barn. This is 3B's belly dancer. She's a 4-month-old Netherland dwarf doe, that's a girl, and she was born on our farm in Carver. There's 23 varieties of just Netherland dwarfs alone. They're the smallest of the rabbits. They weigh under 2.5 pounds, and they come in all different colors, so they're different varieties. They're the smallest of the rabbits. They're like the Chihuahua of the bunny world. You have all the way up to a Flemish giant, which you can see behind my left shoulder, Smurf. He is pushing 14 pounds now, but he'll actually could be over 20 pounds when he's full grown. So he'd be like the Great Dane. And in between, there's a bunny for all size. There's Dutch bunnies. They've actually been bred for competition since the 1500s. As a matter of fact, Governor Winthrop, who was the first governor when Boston was founded in 1630, had on a manifesto list to come over a trio of Dutch rabbits that he was hoping to breed. So they've been around since even before we know. They make a great first pet. They live between 6 to 8 years. I would say they're easy to care for, but then again, I have sheep and goats. They're a living being and they require a lot. I recommend that the best place to get one after you do your research is to go to some rabbit shows, go to some fairs, because the rabbits have been raised and shown by breeders. They're used to kids, they're used to excitement. They're kind of bomb-proof. I mean, she's a baby, but this is her third show, so as you can see, she's very comfortable. Actually, if I leave her alone long enough, she'll sit on my shoulder.
Hi, I'm Sharon Mendes, and I have a small horse farm in Pecasset, Mass. And we have a 4-H club called the Born Equestrians. And I'm an author. I write children's books, and I write books with horses and critters at the farm. And the stories tell themselves. It's very inspiring to sit there and watch the animals. And currently I have 5 books on Amazon. The latest book is A Palace for Bella. It's about a little rescue mule, a miniature mule, and she's absolutely adorable. And her book is probably a first grade level, I would say.
The fair wrapped up Sunday night with a concert from the Lovin' Spoonful. Thanks to Sam Newman for that coverage. It's no secret that some of the favorite summer destinations for visitors and residents alike are the Falmouth town beaches. We stopped by to speak with some of the lifeguards about the challenges they face every day.
Hi, my name is Amanda Clayton. I'm a staff guard for the Falmouth Public Beaches. I've been with the beaches for 8 years. This is my first year in the role of supervisor. I oversee a full-time staff of 55 lifeguards, as well as a few part-time guards for extra coverage as needed. Every morning we meet at the Surf Drive Bathhouse for daily roll call and assignments, as well as drills to keep our staff, in shape and ready to go for the day. Every day we do either a swimming, running, or a combination of both type of drill to keep them on their toes, focused, awake, ready to go for every day. It's a tough job. It's 8.5 hours in the sun for the most part all day, so they need to keep their focus, they need to keep their athleticism going. I'm really proud of the staff we have this year, and they show a good hustle every morning, and it's a tough job, but they do it, and they do it with pride.
Being a lifeguard in Falmouth is, at this point, it feels pretty standard, but it can be stressful at times. The hardest part is probably coordinating with the people you have for the day. Making sure that everyone's on the same page, communication's right, and just making sure everything goes smoothly throughout the day. At first, it felt weird, just to be, as a 16-year-old kid, to have a position of authority, but throughout the years, it's gotten easier. The people who come are really nice, very genuine. But, there's, a few people where things can get rough, but as long as you just handle it politely, everything goes pretty smooth.
I'm the assistant guard at Heights Beach. It's very popular, very big. A lot of people go there every day. You are given a lot of responsibility, especially at the bigger beaches. You're meant to watch a lot of people, deal with a lot of patrons, interact with tons of people from day to day. What I love most about being a lifeguard is getting to make all these new friends on staff. I met my roommate through the staff. I've got to learn so much more about Falmouth. I've been coming here all my life, and there's so many parts that I hadn't seen before this job.
One of the biggest challenges that I usually face is just the long hours. So we get here at 8:30 and we leave at 5. So it's like a long work day, but it's still like nice to be on the beach and like have interactions with the patrons and stuff like that. So I like it a lot.
The most challenging part of being a lifeguard is probably everything. People probably imagine that we spend most of our time watching the water for distressed swimmers, which is what we do. But what they don't know is that we also have to spend a lot of time watching the sand. We have to make sure that people are following the rules, that ball playing is kept contained, and that no one is injured. We actually do a lot more first aid than we do water rescues because we can prevent people from getting into unsafe situations in the water, but we can't really prevent somebody from cutting their foot on a shell on the beach. As this year, the lifeguard stands were moved back on the beach, which allowed us to keep more eye on the sand to enforce these new ball playing rules and other sand rules such as tents and stuff.
So I work at Bristol, so it's like just right next to the Heights. It's a little bit smaller, so there's not as many people. On the 4th of July, we had a couple incidents, like some injuries, and we just had to we didn't have to save anyone, but we just checked in on some people. It looked like they were stuck in a current, but they ended up being okay. So, but it's nice to be proactive in a situation like that.
A difficult part about being a lifeguard is probably keeping contact with people on my beach because Surf Drive is a pretty large beach and I can't even see part of it. They try to give us at least 6 guards every day. Sometimes we do have to go to 5, but definitely 6 over the weekend. I enjoy making all the great friends that I have made over the past 6 years. Some of the friends that I made rookie year are still my friends today.
What I like most about being a lifeguard is definitely having an impact on everybody's life and being able to keep people safe and create a safe environment for people to enjoy their day at the beach, and also being able to get tan every day. Can't complain with that.
I can't tell you enough good things about my staff. They work hard, they're intelligent, they're industrious, they're concerned, and they're very much appreciated by me and by the town for the hard work that they do. I am so proud of my staff and I look forward to working with them just about every day. And when the fall comes, I truly miss them all.
Thanks to Andrew Richards for that piece. It's time now for 3 things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
The Board of Selectmen heard a report from the Falmouth Bikeways Committee at their last meeting. The report cited some concerns the committee has with safety for bikers in town. Concerns such as poor signage, road conditions, debris and vegetation along the sides of roads and the bike path were brought to the Selectmen's attention. In response, Town Manager Suso cited a designation in the bill that the legislature passed several years ago which secured money to address many of these issues.
Again, I wanted to raise that as a reminder that many, many years ago we planned for that. We worked with the legislators and we're asking for help from the state for the #1 tourist attraction in this area that serves the state very well. And we are guardedly optimistic that at some point soon that might be forthcoming.
The Falmouth EDIC presented to the board an expansion to the current solar panel project at the Falmouth landfill location. A 2-megawatt expansion is planned for the site, and one of the project leaders explained some of the hurdles keeping the project from moving forward. One in particular being the permitting for the interconnect to complete the project.
Is the relationship of the wind turbines and their future connected? Does that relate to it? Because if none of the wind turbines in Falmouth were running of the three, there would be a lot more availability because they create a way more energy than we're talking about with the solar.
Yeah, so our project, the project that's ahead of us in the interconnection queue, and the turbines, they're all on the same circuit, so it absolutely does affect it. I actually feel really good about where we are in the interconnection phase right now. I think we will begin studies, and I think things will kind of come together, knock on wood, in a timely manner.
Several months ago, the Selectmen held a listening session for the public to gather and talk about issues and concerns in an open setting. In an effort to expand the ability for the public to reach out to Selectmen, a second community outreach event was scheduled and announced. On August 18th at 8:30 a.m., the Selectmen will hold another such event for the public to attend. The event will be located at St. Anthony's Church in East Falmouth.
We're focusing on sort of the 02536 zip code area, but anyone is welcome. It's certainly open to the public so that we can hear input from anyone, but we thought that, after we kind of did a large kind of grand listening session or live survey in February, that we would try something a little bit different this time. So again, our big goal is to hopefully get town meeting members that represent those precincts there so that they can meet with some of their constituents and really provide some of their insight and suggestions to the listening session.
We've already got a lot of interest in East Falmouth, and people have already catching on to it and taking an interest. I think we'll have a good turnout.
Yeah, a lot of important things happening in that area of town that people want to weigh in on.
Great.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. It's time now for this month's calendar segment. On August 11th at 9:30 a.m., Compassionate Care ALS will be holding its 8th annual David's Old Silver Swim, named in honor of Falmouth dentist and ALS patient Dr. David Garber. The event provides an opportunity for participants to swim along the shoreline of Old Silver Beach while raising money to help those suffering from ALS and their families. The Falmouth Walk steps off Saturday, August 18th at 10 a.m. at Town Hall Square. Participants walk 3.2 miles to support 10 Falmouth charities. The next morning, August 19th at 9:30 a.m., is the New Balance Falmouth Road Race, which will be broadcast live on FCTV Channel 13. Tune in to watch your friends and family cross the finish line. And here at FCTV, we're happy to welcome Joyce Ewing and her exhibit Year-Round Inspirations to the Mazer Gallery for the month of August. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us.
I lived in Falmouth Public Housing since 2002. I have a great apartment overlooking the harbor, and I think my apartment is one of the best places that I have ever lived. Falmouth Housing Authority is doing a great job for people in need, and I wish everyone would come out and support Falmouth Housing. When visitors, relatives, and friends come to visit me, they can't believe how beautiful my apartment is and how upscale the development is. I believe that everyone who needs it should be able to live in a decent, affordable housing like myself. If you have property you can rent, please contact Falmouth Housing Authority and give someone else a chance at a decent, affordable place to live. Thank you.
If you own a second home in the town of Falmouth and are looking for rental opportunities, please consider working with the Falmouth Housing Authority so that we can do our best to work together to meet the needs of those in the community who are looking for housing. Thank you.
Welcome back. The College Light Opera Company is celebrating their 50th season this summer. We paid them a visit to learn more about the performances they're showcasing for their Golden Jubilee season.
I think it's really exciting that Clock has been around for this long, and in a small town like Falmouth, that the community is just so excited, and they come out every year, and I think it's really great. Which Wonderful Town is a story about two sisters who moved to New York from Ohio, try to make it in the big city, and it's very fun. It's Leonard Bernstein, very jazzy, and then we're also doing Millie's coming up next week, so that's what we're practicing for right now, and that's a fun big tap number, jazz music, big roaring 20s. It's such a special place to be in because you're with so many talented people, and everyone really works together to get this big crazy season up because, we only have a week to do each show. So I think it's really cool how everyone comes together and puts a show on in a week.
Thoroughly Modern Millie is about a young girl from Kansas who moves to New York, and she tries to make it in New York as a modern girl, and she is has her heart set on getting married to a man just because he's wealthy, but then fate has other plans, and it has a lot of exciting music, a lot of great fun choreography, and just a really great storyline. It's so funny, it's so charming, so romantic at times. It's a great show. I think it's so exciting. Honestly, when I was contracted to be part of the 50th, I was wow, I get to be part of something that's so big and so exciting. They have so many great shows lined up for the 50th anniversary season, and that was something that really drew me to being a part of the vocal company this year.
Yes, this week we're doing Wonderful Town, which is a Leonard Bernstein musical. That's really exciting because it's Leonard Bernstein's 100th birthday. And coming up we have Thoroughly Modern Millie, which is going to be a really fun, lighthearted tap show, so that's really exciting. One of the great things about Clock is that there's such a big alumni network, and so in my daily life living in New York City, I have tons of Clock alumni just popping up in my daily life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big year for the company, and I'm so glad to be joining them for the first time this year. And we have a great lineup, and we're also celebrating Bernstein's 100th birthday at the same time we're celebrating our 50th with a lot of great music by him and other composers, and it's a great year to be here.
The company wraps up the season with a special day-long Jubilee Gala on August 26th. Thanks to Eric Kellogg for that piece. The hydrangeas are in bloom throughout Cape Cod, and the annual festival that celebrates the region's signature flowers was held in mid-July. In this next segment, FCTV took a walk through one of Falmouth's private gardens.
Everyone knows the Cape for the beautiful beaches and the beautiful towns, but on Cape Cod it's a great environment for gardens, and there are beautiful gardens from one end of the Cape to the other. This is the Chapman Garden on Sadie's Lane in East Falmouth. Today we have an open house. It's the 4th annual open house. It's part of the Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival, and it's to kind of emphasize the gardens on the Cape. So this is kind of a way to highlight the gardens and open them to the public. Our garden is 35 years old. It's a work in progress. It's never done. It's about 50 hours a week, and it's a hobby. I don't golf, I don't boat, I garden. Tucked into the garden there are over 50 hydrangeas. We have a lot of the white paniculatas, the quick fires and the little quick fires. The vanilla strawberries, they're white and they turn pink and they take the cold, so they're very hardy plants. I think my favorite plant in the garden is a DeGroot Spire evergreen. It's a very narrow, tall-growing evergreen. Our garden tends to be a little wild, a little natural, and this evergreen kind of adds a formal touch to the garden, and there are 12 of them throughout the property. Some are 6 inches tall, some are 12 feet tall.
My name's Elizabeth Hills-Jest. I'm a master gardener, but nothing like this. It's really spectacular. The Chapmans really know how to layer their plants, and everywhere you go you find these little vignettes. It's so special. I love his espaliered plants, just the way you move through the garden. And also I like how they use containers as well in particular areas. Surprising things, like they have a little hosta river here of blue angel hostas. It's just really pretty, everything. I'd really like to make such a beautiful little kitchen garden like they have, using the cuttings from their rhododendrons as a trellis.
I have a theory. Some houses have a landscape and some houses have a garden. And a landscape will give you balance and scale, and a garden will give you inspiration and surprise. So I think as you go through today, you'll see that we have a garden.
Thanks to Eliza Laycock for that story. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll stop by a concert with a cause held on the beach. Stay with us.
Stop! You're gonna eat those?
What? They're oysters.
Gross! How do you know they're safe? Where do they come from?
They come from right here in Falmouth.
How do you know that?
I know because I live here. And actually, I volunteer at the program that makes the oysters possible. Our town raises them, all the way from when they're the size of a grain of sand to what you see here.
They don't come from some faraway place?
I bet they come from China!
No, they're Falmouth oysters. Many people don't know it, but Falmouth has the largest municipal oyster program in the country.
Wow, that's impressive. That must be a real source of pride for the town.
Yeah, it really is. Shellfishing is a part of our way of life that we're trying to preserve. We even have other towns purchasing Falmouth oysters.
Wait. How do they go from pebble size onto the plate?
Good question. It's actually a really cool process. The oysters begin their life at Falmouth Harbor in a system of upwellers. Upwellers are protected tanks and silos where oyster seed that is the size of a grain of sand is started. This critical piece of equipment creates an oyster nursery. Once the seed is about the size of a cornflake, it is transferred to floating bags that are part of oyster farms in East Falmouth in both Little and Bournes Pond. In West Falmouth, there is an oyster bed where oysters spawn and self-propagate throughout West Falmouth Harbor. After growing over the summer, seed is moved to other water bodies for final grow-out and harvest. The oysters, which are about 2 inches at this point, are planted on the bottom of harbors and ponds throughout Falmouth that need nitrogen removed. By October 1st, it's time for the recreational harvest. Often, the Department of Marine and Environment will hold an event to teach people all about shellfishing. Soon after the recreational harvest begins, the commercial shell fishermen can begin collecting and selling oysters. Many of the local fish markets and restaurants have Falmouth oysters. It's a great way to improve the economy and keep people employed. Finally, these oysters are delivered to local restaurants and served up fresh. They're so local they could have almost walked here.
But oysters don't walk.
Oh, I get it. So these oysters on my dad's plate were delivered by the local fish market and they're from these waters.
Exactly.
So are you guys still concerned about Dad eating these oysters?
I guess not. Hey, Dad, I think I might want to try one of those.
My name's Chuck Martinson, and I'm the Shellfish Constable in Falmouth, Massachusetts. If you'd like to follow the work that we do or volunteer with our department, please follow us on Facebook at Falmouth Shellfish. Thank you for watching today.
Welcome back. The Moonlighters played a benefit concert for over 500 people at Old Silver Beach last week to raise funds for Recovery Without Walls. This organization offers free support for women living on Cape Cod following treatment for substance dependency.
My name is Bill Doherty, and I'm the director of Recovery Without Walls. And we've been fortunate enough to have this event here tonight. It was put together by Bucky Hall from the group The Moonlighters and myself. And the success for a first-time event has been amazing.
They said, let's bring it to Falmouth, so I'm glad it was a big success. It's a fundraiser for Recovery Without Walls. It's a fund that helps women to recover when they're getting off of drugs or alcohol. And I think it was a great success today.
So this is the first event at Old Silver Beach, and for me it was perfect because I go and listen to the Moonlighters all the time, and Bucky is a friend of mine. And when Bucky told me he was going to try and play here right in my backyard, I thought that was awesome. So we got together with Billy Doherty from Recovery Without Walls, who's doing something amazing in Falmouth. And so two organizations that are near and dear to me, Recovery Without Walls and the Moonlighters, came together on this beautiful night and made this thing happen. The first time live music has been on this beach. And it seems to be pretty tame, and people are respectful, and people are supporting the cause. I don't know how much the grand total is, but I know we've collected a lot of money. And I'm on garbage patrol now, but it looks like people are really cleaning up after themselves, so hopefully we'll be here next year.
I really don't know what to say because I'm still blown away by the whole evening. But we donated this night, or dedicated the night, to first responders, fire, police, counselors, teachers, the people who work every day to combat the opiate abuse problem. on the Cape. And so this is dedicated to them. And it's just been an amazing, fun event.
The Rockin' Recovery Concert was the first ever concert held on Old Silver Beach and raised $10,000 for Recovery Without Walls. Many people are hoping there will be more to come. Thanks to Andrew Richards for that coverage. FCTV wants you to know that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. We leave you now with the sights and sounds of the Barnstable County Fair. Thanks for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.